Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Over the last few months, we've been working on the Impreza. We've got a nice handful of upgrades on the car, so today I'll walk you through everything we've done to the car, as well as give you a nice little condensed review on these parts. So 2 notes before getting into it. We have documented everything, so I'm going to link that playlist in the top right corner, and all these parts are going to be linked in the description box down below in the order of how they're coming on screen, in case you want to check them out yourself. So from the front, we'll work from the top down, most notably the carbon fiber hood. So this is the STI style hood from Carbon Creations. Now you can get this piece in 2 different options. One is going to be in a matte finish, basically that one you can actually color match to your vehicle. It's not carbon fiber, or you can get this one in carbon fiber. It has this really nice glossy finish. Definitely want to note that the finish is extremely glossy. It's very, very clean, and the main thing that I had questions on for this hood was basically going to be the overall fitment. So I'll make a distinction between the body lines and the body gap. So the body lines are really nice. You can see this line from the A-pillar that goes down to the hood. It actually works really, really well, as well as this secondary one right here. It goes all the way to the bumper. For the hood scoop, it does add a new line, so everything looks very cohesive. The main thing is just going to be the body gaps. So it's actually very good fitment here in the front. There's no play or anything, which is definitely solid for carbon fiber hoods. Lets you know it's nice and secure. The main notes are going to be just like the gap right here on the sides. Could be a little bit better, but being that this piece is already finished, quote unquote, because it is carbon fiber, you're not really going to be able to do much body work to it. But overall, fitment is actually better than I was expecting. Definitely love adding that iconic Subaru hood scoop. It looks absolutely gorgeous on this car, especially considering this current gen of the WRX is not available in a hatchback, which definitely sucks. I love hatchbacks, as does Yvette. So wanted to get a hatchback, and we're like, hey, let's maybe get some WRX inspiration for the car. Next up are these headlights. So originally the vehicle came with the factory halogen headlights, which are pretty common amongst Imprezas and Crosstreks. And I definitely wanted to upgrade the headlights, and I found out about the limited headlights and then how Nick over at FoxBeam actually makes an adapter. So all you need to do is buy the headlights, get the adapter. That adapter is made to make the swap a 100% plug and play install. Considering that the limited headlights have a little bit more functionality, knowing that you really don't need to do any splicing, any wiring, all you gotta do is connect that plug, you're good to go. With doing this swap, you upgrade from reflectors to projectors. As you can see in there, the turn signal is actually relocated. It was on the side, it is now right here in the center. And then you of course add that iconic Subaru C-Light. Definitely love that. Now, a little side note, I did touch on this in the last video, but there are 2 versions of the limited headlights. There's the pre-facelift and the post-facelift. The pre-facelift, the LEDs in this DRL are like little sections, whereas on the facelift, it's like one continuous diffused light. Looks really nice. Then the side marker as well. So on the pre-facelift, the side marker takes up basically this entire section, whereas on the facelift, it has a little cut and it's basically like a half triangle, if you want to call it that. So personally, I really like the pre-facelift bumper. I like the simplicity of the design, and then I like the facelift headlights, just being that I like the diffused sequential light. So being able to have both of them on the same car, I think is really cool, because the really cool thing is that pre-facelift or post-facelift, they're the exact same housing, exact same plugs and everything. It's just a very subtly different design. Moving here to the center, we have this carbon fiber grille. Now I really wanted to get this because hood being carbon fiber, feel like the carbon fiber grille would match it very well. And the really cool thing is that though they are different brands, the carbon fiber on this grille actually fits the one on the hood very, very well. So really happy about that. I mean, from like 5 feet away, looks pretty similar. When you get close, you'll obviously be able to tell a little bit of the difference. But my main knock on this one is that it does not mount the same way that the factory grille does. Whereas the factory grille basically is like a hook going through like a slit, and that holds it in position. These don't really have that hook mechanism, so it's basically just like a tab going through a slit. I do have the video on that that goes into it a little bit more in depth, but the grille itself looks really, really cool, especially seeing a lot of very similar styled grills at Subi Fest. Definitely felt much more fitting to have one similar on the Impreza. And then the other thing of note is that the meshes on the grill as well as the hood scoop, we did replace. On here, it came with this like aluminum like square type cut one, whereas on the scoop, it was more like a chicken wire looking one. So the good thing is that both of them are held in position just by these little like metal extensions that you just kind of fold together to hold it down. So we were able to get some mesh and swap it into both. So it's just a little aluminum honeycomb in gloss black that fits the vehicle much better. So everything came out to look a lot more cohesive. Now, more of an in-progress upgrade are the fog light bezels and basically the whole fog light setup. So this vehicle did not come with fog lights, and wanted to just kind of see what we could do. So obviously the bezels are all the same, so they just kind of swap into place. This is from the Sport. We specifically like this one because it has this little piece in gloss black, and the vehicle being metallic black. Thought it would look really well. Obviously there's no fog light in there yet, so that's just kind of on the back burner for now, because it's going to be a very casual little job, but one that's going to be a little bit more involved than you need to for the time being. It's definitely something we want to address, something we want to do, and it would be cool a little bit later down the road see what RGB functionality we could get, because I know that the retrofit source has a kit to actually make this DRL RGB, which I've seen a few on the Facebook groups. They look just so cool. Would love to do that to this car, but for the time being, we just got these headlights on the car, so might as well appreciate them for what they are for a little bit. Next up are the wheels. So there's actually two pretty common wheel sizes for 5th gen Imprezas, 18x8 and 18x8.5. So these are a set of NKTSRXs in their Storm Gray. And then the 18x8 fitment is with a 45-degree offset. So these actually fit just a hair under flush with the vehicle. They're close, but they, pretty clear to see that they're inside the body line, which is definitely what we were going for, because it is a daily, so we want to have a nice, comfortable, reliable daily driving experience. So don't want too much poke in just driving around Austin, because that can get a little... If you've driven through Austin, you definitely know. Now, if you're to get an 18x8.5, I want to say the numbers are in the 40s to get it to fit flush, if you just want it like directional with the body line. And then it is wrapped in 225 40/18s. Nothing fancy about these tires, just a nice little special that they had. The car isn't lowered or anything, so you don't need to worry about rubbing or scraping. Very good daily fitment, as this car is really good daily. Then we did upgrade the brakes. As you can see, they are drilled and slotted, more just in the realm of preventative maintenance for a used car. Now we do have a couple upgrades for the interior. First one being this 10-inch vertical screen from iDoing. This is probably one of my favorite upgrades on the car. It's just such a really nice piece. It fits the vehicle well, and it is 100% plug and play. I can say that very confidently, especially considering I have one in my Fusion, and that one was not plug and play. There's like adapters I need to get, but that's beside the point. This one, however, everything functions exactly as it should, and it is a really, really nice piece. So you put the vehicle in reverse, backup camera comes up. It has wireless CarPlay. I had to just move here so that you don't actually see exactly where I am. This is going to be the section for your music, not playing anything. This is going to be the section for directions. And it actually utilizes the entire screen, which I absolutely love. It doesn't give it some weird aspect ratio to just try to fit it for something else. You have your volume controls down here permanently, and then your home screen. And this basically feels like a tablet made for your car, because you can actually download like games, like you can surf the internet, we have YouTube, navigation, radio. Basically, it functions exactly as a car head unit would, but has that tablet type functionality, which is really, really cool. Then you want to come over here to CarPlay. There you go. Really, really easy to work with. Now it does have this gloss black finish, which matches the gloss black right here, as well as on the AC controls. So it actually fits the vehicle very well. Gives it a subtle OEM plus feeling. I guess my main knock on it is that though it is wireless CarPlay, if you're switching from one connection to the other, it can take a second. So I would suggest if there's two people that are trying to connect, in its daily use, one person to do wirelessly, because it's automatically going to want to connect to that wireless one first, and then one person to do the corded connection. Because from the experience I've had, it's pretty big on the history of pairing, because it can take a second to connect to a new phone, but if you're connecting to a phone that it's already familiar with, it's going to go right there really quickly. And one of my absolute favorite things about it is actually something that it doesn't have. So a unit like this is obviously going to take a lot of information from your vehicle, your radio, volume, navigation, and whatnot, but it does not mess with your AC controls, meaning that the daily functionality of using the knobs for your AC controls is still there. That comfort, if somebody else is in the vehicle and wants to adjust it, very easy to do. It's not like you got to go through multiple screens just to get to that setting, because that's how it is on my Fusion. Thankfully, it has steering wheel controls for the AC, but if it did not, that'd definitely be like a little bit of that side note that you're not the most excited about, let alone that on my Fusion, that was actually an issue that I had where it was not reading the AC properly, so I did not have AC when I was using that unit. Got it all fixed now, but that's not going to be an issue for here because you're still using your factory AC settings. Absolutely love that. And then similarly with the volume controls, so it stays permanently down here, which means that it's very easy to access. Remember, you don't have to worry about looking for something, because it's going to stay there basically whatever screen you're on. So while they did take it into account to have the volume controls permanently on the screen, which I definitely appreciate, I honestly never really even use them, just because I always use the steering wheel controls. So just definitely happy to use this. Then nothing crazy, but we do have footwell lights in here. This is the Govee RGB IC kit. Now this kit is definitely the best one in my opinion. I've had a handful of different kits. This one is the one that functions the best, has the most color options, and is also the easiest to install, so definitely suggest this one. Gives you a nice little bit of ambient lighting for the interior, and you can actually customize the patterns and all the lights with multiple colors on a single strip, unlike a lot of the other ones on the market. And then coming around the rear, we've got a couple upgrades as well. So we have this spoiler extension from Kakumi Motorsports. This thing was a super easy install, and it actually looks really good. Nice little just bit of flare to fit the profile. And this thing does come out of the box in gloss black, which I absolutely love because it means you can install it just right then and there. And it actually fits the look of the vehicle very, very well. Now the fitment of this piece is perfect, really leaves nothing to be desired. As you can see right here on this side, lines up to this point perfectly. And same thing over here, lines up with these ridges as well. And you can also see it from the front of the vehicle, assuming you're tall enough. This is a really nice quality piece and a very simple upgrade. And then rounding it all out, we have this emblem from Subi Mods. So it's basically a blacked out version of the Subaru emblem, but really like the fact that it is still like distinguished in that the outer section is this charcoal, whereas the stars are black. So from like 5 feet away, you're really not going to be able to tell that there's anything on it just because it is so dark. But you get closer, you notice that attention to detail. Really easy install because the way that the factory one removes is just the adhesive. There's not like any sort of mechanism holding it together. So basically just get some fishing wire and some Goo Gone if you want to go more in depth. Start prying it off. They just pull off the backing from this one to expose the tape, press it in position, you're good to go. Really nice piece, and it does come in a kit from the front and back. But the thing is, obviously we swapped out the grille in the front, so we have no real need for the one in the front. Now it fits perfectly. It's made specifically for this vehicle, so big props for that. My main note's really just it's a little expensive for what it is. Not saying it's not worth it, but that's the only thing I could really come up with for a little critique of it. But that is gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, everything on this car is gonna be linked in the description box down below in case you want to check it out for yourself. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you in the next one.